Good evening, everybody. It's a little early, but I ended up scheduling a dash last night. It starts at 3:30 today, so it's 3:30 to 10, so that gives me a few hours to hopefully translates into a little more money. It doesn't always, but it's a crapshoot from night to night. That's just the way things are. And I figured, what the hell, make another video. I mean, you watch them or you don't. Because I don't even know how YouTube's algorithm works. A video that I never thought would even get noticed, would get picked up, because I only had a handful of subscribers to begin with, and I posted a video and it gets over 4,000 views. I'm thankful. I just don't understand it. A lot of people commented on it. Weird that YouTube would recommend this, but hey, I'm thankful that it did. But you know, so I'm on my way to Dothan, because that's where I get my better dashes. I'm gonna try to make a few dollars. Hopefully it goes well. You know, I posted videos. I've showed some of my cups off, showed some of my stuff off. Y'all have seen them, hopefully. If there's something you want done or would like me to try to do, message me. My email's out there, and I will tell you, hey, I can't do it, or I'll ask you a bunch of questions to try to determine if I can do it. The example is, I had posted some of the stuff I'd done on Facebook last night. And an old high school friend of mine who has a race car, he's like, how big can you engrave? How big of stuff can you engrave? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'll have to measure the bed of my laser and I'll get back to you. But I mean, what are you looking to engrave? And he's like, well, some car parts and, you know, etc., etc. And then so there's things I need to know, and so I started asking him questions. I'm like, what type of material is it? Is it metal? Is it stainless? Is it powder coated? Is it painted, or is it bare metal? And he's like, well, a little bit of all, but mostly aluminum. I'm like, okay, well, I've not worked with aluminum. I know with stainless steel, because my laser is a diode laser, and there's CO2 lasers, there's diode lasers, and there's another one that I can't think of the name of it. But they each have their limitations. Some are good for glass, some are good for wood, some are good for leather, some are good for metals. Diode lasers can't really etch metal per se. The cups I do are powder coated. So basically the laser removes the powder coating and exposes the bare metal. Usually what I do is stainless steel. Now, when it comes to doing a stainless steel cup, a bare stainless steel cup, which I've done, I use a marking spray, which sprays on and dries like a powder that you can just rub off if you ain't very careful. But once it dries, you put it and set it up, and you do your design, and it burns that design into that powder. Well, when that powder is heated up with the laser, it bonds to the stainless steel really, really well, to the point that it takes me 180 grit sandpaper and about 15-20 minutes of sanding to get it back off. I know, because I messed the cup up I was playing with, and I wanted to reuse the cup, so I took a piece of sandpaper to it. And you can still see where what I did was originally on there. So the marking spray works real well on stainless steel. He's like, well, some of the parts are powder coated, some of it's bare aluminum. He said, but I do have some scrap aluminum if you want to try and see if it works with aluminum. I'm like, that's great, that's perfect. So I have to get up with him one day next week, probably, since he lives up close to where my interview is on Tuesday. After I get done there, I'm going to try to hit him up and see about getting some scrap aluminum, kind of talk over what he's wanting to do. I know one of the things he's wanting to do is valve covers. He said something about a steering wheel. I've not done a steering wheel, so that'll be interesting. But it's just learning. It really is. It's learning, and if I don't feel comfortable doing something, I will tell someone, hey, I don't feel comfortable. If it's a matter of material that I don't know that much about, I'm going to say, hey, let me see if I can't find a piece of that material that I can practice with cheap, or if you've got a scrap piece I can work with, we can go from there. And he's like, sure, we'll talk. So it's possible, and I don't know if I can do it, but if I can do it, it's possible I may get to make a couple of dollars off that. And that's great for me. It gives me something to do. It gives me something to try. And if it goes well, and if he gets a lot of people to ask about it, maybe through word of mouth, he can turn more people on to me, and I can do a little bit more work. Because I do enjoy doing the laser engraving. You know, I like figuring stuff out, so it's kind of one of those things. So but it is something, a little shameless promotion. Told y'all I'd use it. And I did the cup because I'm like, I'm gonna make me a cup, and it came to, why not see if other people want them? One person has messaged me about potentially getting a cup with my logo. Still waiting to see how that's gonna go, but I'm very much we'll wait and see when it happens type thing on that. I don't like to pester people. Like if they say, hey, I want this done, and then they tell me, I'm like, okay, and then I don't hear from them, I just kind of assume that they aren't interested at the price point or whatever, and I'm not going to bug them. I have a buddy right now that wants some stuff done for his Polaris Razor, but he's told me it's going to be after the first of the year when they finally get the money off the house they just sold before he has me do anything. I'm like, okay, well, just let me know when you're ready. I helped him design a logo for his YouTube channel. That he's not using that logo yet because he wants to get it copyrighted, which that's fine. I designed it, I'll sign everything over so he can have the rights to that copyright. I don't care. But I did help him design that logo, and I can't wait for him to start using it because I think it's a good logo, and I'm proud of the fact that I helped him design that. Which, if y'all want to check him out, his channel is 41 Mud Mafia. He does like mud riding videos. Most of what he's got up there now are shorts. The first long video they did, his buddy, they flipped his buddy's Maverick, turned it over, and it destroyed 3 of their GoPros. So I think he's kind of limited as to what he really is doing right now. But he's already got, even though he only has a few subscribers, he's done went to the trouble of trying to set up to be a, what's the word I'm looking for? A retail, anyway, he's got it set up where he can legally sell, like, I think it's 5150 whip lights and a couple of other, like one other brand he's doing. So basically he can get that stuff at a discount as a dealer. That's right, he wanted to become a dealer, so he could get discounts on that, and the company's our 5150 whip lights has already agreed to donate a set of whip lights to do a giveaway, which he's going to do a giveaway when he gets 100 subscribers. So he will be giving away a set of whip lights. If any of you have interest in mud riding or stuff like that, you know, hit him up. 41 Mud Mafia. I will put a link somehow to his channel below. I'm not quite sure how to do that yet. I know I can link to one of his videos, but mud riding ain't my thing, but he's a friend. I will support him as much as I can by sharing his information and his videos, because I want him to succeed as much as I would like myself to succeed. You know, I would love it if I got to the point where I could monetize this channel, but that's a long, long way away. But maybe if I post enough of my laser engraving stuff, maybe that can be an outlet to make a little extra money moving forward. I'm still hoping for a job. I talked to a recruiter today, and they told me that I live too far south to get on, even though the position was a southeastern position. Well, that wasn't bad news, but it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Basically, at this moment, they only had or have one position to fill in my area, and they think they filled it already. And until next week, cause they're going to be closed Monday for the holiday, they are basically going to, hold on a minute. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so they told me, in her words, is they have to regroup to see what their driver needs are in my area before she can tell me anything. Well, welcome to New Year's and Christmas holidays, the worst time to try to find a job. And like I think I mentioned already, one company I had called, put an application in with, they're like, we do hire for Southeast Regional, but you're just too far south for us. Even though their ad showed Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and all that, I'm too far south, so I don't understand that. But it is what it is. I mean, what can I say? What can I do other than just go with it and, you know, try to be patient and hope something works out. I'm sorry, the edges of my nose itches a lot, so I'm not picking my nose, it itches. So I may not get a dash this early, so if I don't, I'm probably gonna go up here and park in the parking lot behind the Chili's where the strip mall is and wait for a dash, because sometimes that happens. So I am putting in applications. One company I put an application in with, I have not heard back from them. I tried to call them today and they just didn't give me well, they didn't answer. Me and my brain trying to put words together, you know. Sometimes I feel like Forrest Gump. I'm not a smart man, but you know, I am trying. I am putting effort out there. I'm out here doing Doordash, for crying out loud. I'm even putting in applications for jobs that have nothing to do with driving, just because I need something that's some kind of steady income, and I can always continue to do Doordash and try to make up the gap as best I can. But trucking's the only industry in the area that I work or live that I can do to make the money that I'm used to making. And it really sucks when companies do you the way I was done, because they do it at Christmas time, knowing that Christmas time is one of the hardest times to try to find a trucking job. You know. But what can I do? I mean, what can I really do? They closed the Popeyes down. Damn. I didn't know they done closed that Popeyes down. Wow. So, yeah. We'll sit around and wait a little bit more than likely tonight, just till things pop off and get started. But more than likely gonna go over here and sit. How you like that, people? Just like clockwork. Just like clockwork. Go to IHOP. I think I can make it to IHOP. And go to IHOP. It never fails. I don't know if it's universe or whatever you want to call it, but there'll be moments where I'm like, I've got a few minutes, I'm gonna run inside and grab me a snack or whatever, and as soon as I step out the car, bam, I get an order. And then it's rush back to the car and take off to pick up that order. You know, so yeah, sometimes as soon as I get ready to park, like, hey, I guess I'm gonna have to wait. Well, nope, no waiting for me. Go get an order. So I'm thankful that that works out that way, but it's just crazy sometimes, because sometimes I'm really damn trying to do something. Like, sometimes Carla rides with me and she'll be like, if we've got time, I really need to use the restroom, and I'll stop somewhere if you use the restroom, and then like as soon as she enters the building, I get an order, then I have to sit and wait for her to get out the restroom so I can go get the order. But yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know what that guy's doing. Last thing I wanted to get in an accident. Don't need that at all. Done had enough accidents and surgeries and all that to last me a lifetime. I mean, if I go the rest of my life without being cut on, that'd be great. Because the 2 surgeries after I shattered my forearm, that wasn't great. Because it really should have only been 1 surgery, but they were so focused on the 3 fractures in the forearm that they completely missed that the elbow had been shattered by it had been shattered and separated by a full centimeter. So when I went back 2 weeks after the surgery to get a checkup, they're like, did you fall and break your elbow after you had your surgery? I'm like, no, I hadn't fell at all. I've been in bed. They were like, apparently we missed your, elbow fracture in the process, so we need to go back in and do another surgery. So that was a second surgery and more hardware to be put in. But anyway, I got to go inside and get this order, so I'll catch y'all later as soon as I find this. All right, got the order picked up. Now I'm waiting at the traffic light so I can make a left-hand turn. But I was thinking about something. I wanted to mention this. I know a lot of you, some of you probably have used Doordash to have food delivered. We all have. I have. Please, if you can afford to, try to leave the driver a tip, because most of the time, if there is no tip, at least in this area, the most Doordash pays is normally $2 to $2.50 as base pay. So if there's no tip, we don't really get much on that order. Me, for example, when cause yeah, I do use the service myself. I mean, in the past, like say for example, this is just me. I'm not telling no one how to do it. This is just how I do it. If I get something from the Popeyes, say I get something from Popeyes delivered. Popeyes is 5 miles from my house. I tip about $1 a mile from the pickup point to my house. So that way, $5 plus the $2 DoorDash is gonna give, that's $7 on that order, and that's fair. Obviously some people do tip a lot more, and that usually offsets the lower paying ones. But sometimes I'll get a couple of runs back to back to back that just don't have any tips at all. And you know, like I said, I know not everyone can afford a tip, but
in half a mile,
you know,
turn right toward Choctaw Street. Head northeast on Ross Park Circle.
When you
in a quarter mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto US 231 North.
So when you hold on. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oops. I'm in the wrong lane. Whatever. So yeah, whenever you order a DoorDash, just try to leave a tip, because that's what the drivers mainly get is tips. Without tips, we don't really get paid enough to even justify, in my opinion, doing it. So a perfect example is this order that I'm on now.
Turn left onto Ross Park Circle.
Because I've got to go all the way to Midland City to deliver it, and that's
head north
7 miles. They did leave a tip. I know they left a tip because of how much it told me it's going to pay. So I know it's paying more than the base amount, but it's only like, it's $4.50. I'm guessing is what the tip is, because assuming the base amount is $2.50, then you know it's like $6.75 or something. So
head north toward Ross Park Circle.
Yeah.
Head south toward Ross Park Circle. Head north toward Ross Park Circle.
So yeah, they obviously did think about the time involved and all that, so they left a tip. That's great. DoorDash does not pay us to wait. Just like trucking, you're gonna get screwed on some things.
Head northwest northwest toward Ross
I
Park
waited
Circle.
for an order for 30 minutes the other night. Let Doordash know.
Head northwest toward
We're
Executive
sorry to
Park
hear that
Drive.
you're having to wait,
Turn left onto Executive
but
Park
rest
Drive.
assured your ratings won't be
In a quarter mile, turn right onto US 231. Head northeast on
affected.
Executive Park Drive toward
If
US
you stay on the
231
order,
south,
you'll get
then turn
paid, but
right
if you
onto
remove
US
yourself
231
from the
south.
order, then you will not get paid. I've never removed myself from an order at all. But then the stupid thing is about Doordash is they have this little button that when you do that and it says extra pay for waiting, when you click on it, then it has an auto reply says Doordash does not pay extra for waiting. If you remove yourself, you won't get paid at all. If you stay on the dash, then you'll get paid in full as usual. So I don't even know why they have the extra pay for waiting button if they're just going to give you that little response. It's kind of crazy.
US 231 north, then make a U-turn.
You know, that's just me griping about something, I guess. You have good nights and you have bad nights with this shit. You know, I've had like one night where I made like $100 because I got a bunch of good loads, good runs, good orders. I'm still talking in trucker terms because that's the way my brain's been trained all these years. But some nights I may come out, I may only make 30 bucks. Don't get me wrong, 30 bucks is better than nothing, but it all depends on if that's the particular night in question that you had to put gas in the car. Well, it takes about $20 to put gas in the car now. So if I put $20 of gas in the car for that night, yes, that gas will last me more than one night. So don't think that sounds bad. But then, okay, and I make $30, and I've only made $10, and on top of that $10, you know, taxes, because you're 1099. You're not an employee of Doordash, you're an independent contractor of Doordash. So I will get a 1099 at the end of the year, and in the state of Alabama, you have an automatic $500 self-employment tax per 1099 that you get. So if you have two 1099s, that's automatic $1,000 in self-employment tax they charge you on top of income tax. I mean, you offset that, or you try to offset that with the miles, you know, because you get a write-off for the miles. And if I'd have kept the receipt where I had to buy this bag, I could have wrote that off as well. But that's like it is being an independent contractor doing anything. I'm not new to this, because I used to do paper routes. So it was very much a similar thing. Only thing is, back then, paper routes paid more than what they do now. Paper routes, I had a paper route one time, I made $1,100 a month on a paper route. Now, this is a car paper route, not a bicycle paper route. But you just don't do that no more, and because they changed the way, right before I got out of it, they changed the way they did it, and they said, oh, well, you should make more money doing it this way. But the truth of it is, the newspaper made more money, but you took a hit. To the point that it went from being $1,100 a month I was making to being like $900 a month I was making. I need to check and see if there is any paper routes available. And the reason I'm on this car tonight is because the Mustang, the heater core crapped out. So it's leaking water in the floor. So I got to get that fixed. when I get the money and when I have the time. So my situation is just one of those situations. If it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. But, you know, that's just a saying. I don't really believe in luck. I believe life is what life is. I don't think luck plays a deal in it. I just think that life sucks sometimes. And like my video that got so many of y'all's attention, it's sometimes you just have to ask for help. You have to hope and pray that there's someone out there that is capable and willing to help. I mean,
in a quarter mile, turn right onto Napier Field Road.
Hold on. When I get quiet like that, doesn't mean I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on ahead of me, because I'm zoned in on
Turn
that.
right onto Napier Field Road.
And then I lose track of what I was saying.
Continue on Napier Field Road for 4 miles.
But I haven't, you know, I haven't thought about paper routes. Thought I was done with paper routes, to be completely honest. Once upon a time, I did pretty good, because I had like 2 paper routes at the time. And back then, we're talking about, keep in mind, people, we're talking 20 years ago, I was making $2,000 a month on a paper route, doing 2 paper routes, and then still doing another job during the day. So, I mean, yeah, I was wore out, but I mean, I wasn't hurting. Now you can't even live off that. I think at this point I'm just kind of rambling, but alright, well, it's the end of the night. Dashing is over. I apologize for the lighting. I'm pretty sure it sucks. It's raining, and the street lights provide a little light, but they don't provide a lot, and I'm not going to turn a lot of interior lights on. But tonight was an okay night. I actually did better than I thought I would, which is kind of good. You know, it's not bad for 6 hours worth of work, but it is a lot of wear and tear on a vehicle. It's a lot of city driving, traffic driving. I don't like doing it. I really don't. Not my personal vehicles. If I had a vehicle I could dedicate solely to this, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for me. But you know, insurance companies don't like drivers. Insurance companies don't like people doing this stuff at all. You know, I had an insurance company tell me one time, because I was doing newspapers, and I hit a deer while doing newspapers. They were like, "You were delivering newspapers?" I'm like, "Yeah." My last insurance company didn't have a problem with it. Oh well, we'll pay for the repairs this time, but you're going to have to find another insurance company, or you're going to have to stop doing newspaper routes, or you're going to have to buy what essentially would be business insurance, which is outrageous. If you've ever wanted to have like business insurance on a vehicle to do insurance and all on, that is outrageously expensive. And if one had to do that, then you know, you couldn't afford to do it. In other words, not in my opinion, you just wouldn't be able to afford to do it. Which when I got my insurance I have now on the vehicles, they asked about rideshare. They didn't ask about Doordash. So, but I'm still gonna be like dumb on it, because yeah, rideshare like Lyft and all that, yeah, because it puts you more at risk for a crash, in their opinion. And they're probably right, it does. But yeah, if I had to have, you know, if I had to have insurance for like a business, I forget what it's called, there's a name for it. But if I had to have that kind of insurance, then it wouldn't be worth it for me to do this, because I couldn't afford it. You know, but all in all, tonight wasn't a bad night, and I'm not even sure how many people have watched the video up to this point to see all this, but for those of you to at least click by and watch a minute or two, thank you, appreciate it. And those that stay to this part of it, thank you that much more. But anyway, y'all have a good night. I'm gonna try to make it home and get some rest, eat something. Y'all take it easy.